Today, I want to talk about a few of the most underrated moves in all of Brawlhalla. And first on the list is Sentinel Qatar Scythe. This move is so underrated that it actually got mega buffed not too long ago, and still, people don't talk about it. So let's change that right now. First of all, it is a grounded KO option on Qatars, which they just don't have that, right? I mean, you have this falling recovery technically, but otherwise signatures are gonna be the things that do that job for you. And if you have a move that's so snappy like this one, it definitely deserves a second look. If you haven't played Sentinel much yourself, then this is your sign to, because using some of these signatures, he just feels really clean. And the side sig is no different. Something about this step forward is just really satisfying. It's hard to find the exact words to describe it, but yeah, satisfying really is one of them. And that's the case with a lot of his signatures, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking specifically about this newly buffed one. Because now this is one of the best anti-airs in general on Qatars. It has a big disjoint, it's got that big vertical hitbox, a lot of active frames, which is a lot of jargon to basically say you can hit it pretty consistently. Check this out, the Ezio is very clearly in the air, but still very vulnerable to the side sig. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you can throw it out all willy-nilly without a thought in the world, but what it does mean is that the cases in which you can throw it out, it tends to be quite good. And even if you miss, you can tell right there, you recover very fast. And take a look at that force. I mean, this is a core, not a low defense character by any means, and you could still see just getting launched across the map there. So already, there's a couple of pretty clear use cases. Punishing an opponent when they land, and punishing an opponent's attack to knock out. But of course, you're playing Qatars, which means incorporating this into strings is fully in your arsenal as well. I'm talking about spot dodge punishes, okay? Dodge down punishes. Also a dash movement. Do you see just the janky movement? This is, again, one of these moves that you gotta play. You gotta play it to understand why it feels so good. Why does this Volkov look like they're holding an axe? That's a little confusing for my mind brain here. I took a final today, or the midterm, whatever you want to call it, so I'm already a little drained a wee bit, but you can also see me throwing it out. Like, I'm not really putting myself at much risk here. It's very difficult to punish, and you also get that jank little movement. This is one of those moves that I think is underrated because it doesn't look that impressive, which is also the case for Sir Roland Sword Down Sig, because this move, it doesn't look like it should be that good, but then you see it hit like that in the air, and then you see how difficult this is to punish with how much range it really realistically covers, and all of a sudden, you unironically have a 10 out of 10 signature on your hands. It doesn't KO the earliest, and it doesn't hit at the best angle, but everything that it lacks in power, it makes up for in utility. I don't know if you can really call it a defensive signature, but it is probably one of the best, if not the best, defensive signatures in the game. Certainly on Sword. You can see just the range and the vertical coverage. Like this opponent, this Hattori, they're not hitting me for just throwing out this signature at the right distance, and it still covers the threat of the ledge there. That's of course one of the more obvious use cases, covering the ledge, because you can see the Hattori jumped in the air, and it still hit. That's the thing with some of these, especially older signatures, is their hitbox is deceptive. It is deceiving how high it hits up there. Nash is another one of those characters that really has some of those signatures, and Roland himself, even with that end sig, you can see that one more obvious visually, I suppose. But this down sig is a nightmare to fight against. The fact that this map has platforms does make it a little bit easier because you can evade and escape to those, but still, it is ridiculous. A little bit special because not a lot of sword sigs are like that. I can't tell if that's trying to jump off and messing up jumping off, but I guess succeeding in jumping off, because you still, when you mess up when jumping off, you still jump off. Alright, okay, this feels a little unfair, because over here, you know, it's fine, and then I go over here and I just blend into the map. So, I don't know. I'll take it though. We'll see if I can use this effectively once more. Like, that hit. That hit. You see what I mean? Like, who talks about Sir Roland's Sword Down Sig? You know what I'm saying? It's not Mordex. It's not Thea, but look at it. He's so good. This is why you really got to be careful with character specialists in Brawlhalla, because they might just pull out one of the most unexpected characters, someone that you never fight against. I mean, I guess Roland's a little more common because he has sword. Anyone with sword, you're going to see a little bit more often. But even so, if they know the spacing, like the back, oh my, like the back of their hand, not like me, clearly. I try to jump on the stage to do that. this is gonna be like 10 times more terrifying, right? Also, the fact that this platform is here, I can just dip down, GC it. Yeah, look at that range, look at that coverage. It's a little scary to do this specifically against Spear, because they do have sidelight, they can outspace it, get the double downlight. But if you GC'd a little above the ground, like you just saw, I thought that wouldn't hit me. That's okay. You could still hit people on the ground while extending the height of those mystical swords that you summon. Seeing as I have yet to complete a game with Sir Roland here, let's see if I can make the most out of this one. Look at that range once again. I mean, they try to fade out because they saw I was going for a read, and still there was no escape. There's that extension that I was talking about. They try to jump away, still hits up there. Compared to the Sentinel Sig, this is definitely one that you can throw out a lot, like a lot more. I was gonna mince words a little bit, but no, you can throw it out way more than that one because it's a zoning tool, and zoning tools in general, you just have that ability. So make use of it while you can. I'm saying that like there's any chance in the near future that Sir Roland gets nerfed like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how big of a ladder threat and how much people complain about Roland to justify something like that. But look at that. I mean, I wasn't even punished for the move. I was punished for just jumping and doing nothing else afterwards. I gotta move on. The other two SIGs that I talked about so far, you could probably point to a pretty easy common denominator as to why they're underrated. If the characters themselves are underplayed, then yeah, it makes sense that the SIGs aren't really talked about. It makes sense that the SIGs are underrated too because they're not getting that much time in the spotlight. Thatch is a really different case though. You see Thatch all the time, and you also see Thatch SIGs all the time. I'm talking about the cannonballs, right? If you've played against one Thatch, then you've played against them all to some degree, because there's also the side SIG, right? And I think the reason why this particular move, the down SIG, is so underrated is just because it doesn't, like, when do you see this? When do you see this? When you have that, you know what I'm saying? But it is, I mean, you could, oh god, I need some assistance. You could just tell how good this move is, because look at that coverage. You step back, it covers in the air, it covers in front of you, it covers all around you. I guess it doesn't cover all around you if you did that exact timing. That was actually really unlucky. That was scary. In some ways, this actually is close to a Roland SIG, the gigantic slash of that 45-degree end SIG. But you can tell it's not just 45 degrees. This thing is a full 360 the way that you're leaping around. And then look at that. Look how high that hit up. That's 6G coverage right there. I'm gonna slide charge it and we'll just see how far back that hits. Yeah. Also, this is the case with the Sentinel one too, but it has Z pivoting, which is just a fancy way to say if you dash and then do it in the opposite direction, you get a little bit of a wacky pivot movement there, and you can fake people out with that. I talked about a side SIG. I talked about a couple of down SIGs. Now it's time to talk about an end SIG, because this move, I've made a full dedicated video on it already, to be frank with you, because this, the Ada Blaster's end SIG, it's one of the wacky ones, and in my book, wacky, obviously, is good. I'm not gonna go into too many details, because once again, I've already made a full dedicated commentary to this one. I recovered just fine using it there, as you can see. It combos into itself. I talked about this in the main video, the full dedicated one. I'm not gonna go into it. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I already said that. It used to suck. This move used to be terrible. It used to be like that one, sort of, but now you just leap into the air, you can spike, it combos on the ground, you can see it leads into itself. You can falling Sair in the reverse direction after using it, like check, oh, well, don't check it out if I do it like that, but check this out, okay? Falling Sair in the reverse direction, and where's the, like, how am I getting punished for this? One more time though, surely. I mean, now they know. Now they know. But, like, what is the downlight gonna do? Because I jump higher than the downlight, right? So, and then you can, of course, edge guard with it. It sucks! Sorry, I got a little... Yeah, I got a little frustrated. How about we just calm down a little bit, okay? If you could see the way that I'm seated in my chair right now. I've got the full gremlin stance. Like, my knees are on the thing. It is, yeah, okay, sorry. I'm struggling a little bit to stay seated still. It's looking like I should probably end this on the Ada, because, okay, let me shut up. Look, it has a wall version, and then you jumpy back to the stage, and then you don't get punished, and then also you can spike with it. And I'm gonna demonstrate how to spike with, I can't hit them. Why did I take my hands off the keyboard too? That was just, I had so much time. What you don't get is that was multi-sig conditioning. Okay, I almost read that actually. It was the weirdest. I don't know. Because now when I use whatever I did, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what it was. They're gonna think they're gonna be able to punish me, and then and then they can't. So, how long did it take for me to lose it in this video? Not long. Anyway, you can ledge trap and edge guard with it, which is something I will do if they don't recover high. And how do I get them to stop recovering high? I position myself high, and then I go low. And they avoided it actually really well. That was really good spacing. It wasn't supposed to turn out like this, okay? You saw, right? You saw? Yeah. No. We all understood innately what's gonna happen. I was gonna hope they were gonna combo me a lot. I was gonna GC it down like recovery to the top of the map. They ran out of jumps. And the whole plan was contingent on me getting hit. So maybe it's a bad plan, you know? Do we think these things through well enough? I don't think so. I don't think so. But look at that. Look at that. I'm not getting punished. And then it spikes. And then it spikes. And then they have Lance. And I missed. It was like why am I teleporting a little bit? It was perfect spacing too. Or not perfect spacing, perfect decision making, because it was like in just the right spot. And then hey everyone, how's it going? Today we're just doing a little bit of a casual commentary, playing some Heat Blast, because I want to show off a little bit about what makes this end sig so special, because I think it's one of the most underrated sigs in the game, and I'm just gonna, I guess, talk about that today. Why does it keep dropping? Why does it keep dropping? This wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe it deserves its place, you know? Maybe it deserves everything that it's been given, is what I was gonna say. This move is like broken sometimes, literally, because it doesn't work, and then it's broken other times, metaphorically, because it breaks a lot of gaming conventions. Okay, not in Geneva. Don't think that was about gamers. Okay, I have the vision here. You don't see the vision? I see the vision. Okay, boom, boom, boom. I don't have a dodge now. What? Oh my god. Can I have like a 1080p 4K resolution? One of those cameras they use to get your dentist tooth done. And in surgery, colonoscopy, into my brain to figure out what I could possibly have been thinking there. Because let me tell you, it wasn't good. And now it doesn't drop. Thank you for like the 29 damage or whatever it was. And I'm just bouncing around now. I'm just hopping. And am I getting punished for it? No. Like they even jumped. Do you see how they jumped up with hammer and air, and couldn't do it? So. I was waiting for a spot dodge. I was waiting for the spot dodge. I thought it was gonna be nice. Well. Can't hit each other. You could tell the exact moment the blood sugar left my body when recording this video, right? We gotta shut this one down. That's about all I want to talk about today. Let me know some more SIGs you want me to cover, so subscribe, do all that stuff. I had to throw this video together real quick. Like I mentioned, I got exams, so I'm a bit busy, but I hope you enjoyed anyway. Sorry for being a bit absent recently. A lot of good stuff is on the horizon.